Hey guys, welcome to our season finale review for Disney Plus's version of Daredevil, the series Born Again. And we just finished watching it, an excellent episode 9, Straight to Hell. Pretty much at this point, everything is all right. And we have literally been born again, and they set up the future for Daredevil within the MCU universe. Mayor Fisk is now Mayor Kingpin, and Daredevil and Punisher are pretty much unleashed as, the city is in chaos, and the lights go out and everything, and drama ensues, essentially. And we bring back some fan favorite characters. We bring back Karen. We shake off this annoying therapist, thank God. Though at the end, there's scenes of pretty much all of the characters that are going to remain a part of the series, I assume, going into season 2. It's also been announced back in February 2025 that Frank Castle, John Bernthal will get a special presentation. You know how they did Werewolf? A long time ago they did Werewolf. He's going to do a Punisher presentation. He's going to co-write it too, so that's cool for him. And I'm unsure where it's going to be placed. Maybe picking right up where there's a tease. If you stay through the credits a little bit, there's a bit of a tease at what could be happening with Punisher's special presentation. And I need to look up whether Daredevil is getting a second season. I'm pretty freaking certain, because this honestly is the better TV. On we've been having a lot of misses in Disney Plus Marvel's universe. I think ultimately, all things considered, this is a solid entry. What did you guys think?
Yeah, this episode I really liked. I liked the team up that was going on. I didn't expect that much blood and violence, but there was a lot.
Disney blood.
And I was all here for
So Marvel already confirmed a second season is happening. Production started in March 2025.
Good.
March 20. Yeah. Again, I would definitely see a second season of this. This is one of the better ones. I didn't like the other She-Hulk, Kamala Khan one.
Echo.
It went.
Those are some real bad ones.
Those are bad. This one,
Secret Invasion,
way better. I still don't like it was dialed back, the BB report. I wanted
They dialed it back through the rest of the season. Thank God.
Yeah, I wanted to see some of the chaos that ensued whenever he unleashed his task force. We did see it, but through BB report, which again I'm nitpicking. I didn't like that. But yeah, I like this episode a lot.
I feel like I'm in for. I like the season 1. I'm definitely in for season 2. Season 1 still feels a little bit like a mess. You can feel. I felt the reshoots where there's like weirdness, like characters showing up, and I don't know what they were planning on doing and what they cut out. I appreciated the violence because I was expecting it to be kind of like a sanitary clean, and that's not the case at all. I mean, it wasn't the most violent thing I've ever seen, but for Disney, it was like, okay, if this is a sign that they can do the things that I want them to do. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yep.
I do have, just like you, I have like little things. It's like I don't love the BB report. I think some of the side plots didn't necessarily go anywhere.
Yeah.
Some of the episodes were certainly weaker than some of the other episodes. But overall, I think I would say I enjoyed season 1.
As we look here to cap off, this is Phase 5 of the MCU TV series. There's one final show before they cap off Phase 5, so I think it's a great ending, because this next one, Ironheart, I think it's going to be awful.
Was it Ironheart?
That's the one that's going to end it, and then we move into Phase 6. Now, Phase 6 includes Daredevil Born Again Season 2, so hopefully as we go into Phase 6, they clean things up and improve the situation. Because they were doing some misses there. Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Hawkeye. Some of the later What If seasons were weak. After an initially really strong start with WandaVision, Loki, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're kind of wrapping up the whole season. Let me go way back to the Netflix stuff. Now, I think the Netflix stuff, I don't think I reviewed any of that. That was before sort of the AngryJoe show covering
30 years ago.
Individual Netflix series. Once we get all these streamers and competing, and then we got into that. But these are legendary seasons. In my opinion, the Daredevil Netflix is pretty much the best thing Marvel's ever done on TV, for sure. And it's legendary stuff. And if I were to rank the seasons, and this is the only correct answer, you're wrong if you rank them any other way. It goes season 2 is the lowest, season 1, and then season 3 by a small margin. I'll allow people to go different 1 and 3. The reason being, season 2, I'd probably give overall an 8 out of 10. First off, I feel like they're all 10 out of 10s, but when you're comparing them against each other, some are weaker. Season 2, if you'll remember, focused a lot on Elektra. I hated Elektra. I think it detracts from the story, but you can't do a Daredevil series without Elektra, right? They had all this hand stuff that was going to tie into the Defenders series, and it had a really strong start because that's where a lot of the Punisher stuff was. And the Punisher stuff was actually, in my opinion, kind of done better in Season 2 than it was even in his own Punisher series. So Season 2, really strong start, but then all the Elektra stuff derailed it. 8 out of 10.
Fucking it up again.
Season 1, for obvious reasons, always, the dialogue, all that is just really strong. A gritty version that we've ever seen, 10 out of 10. And then Season 3 just takes it to the next level where you have the culmination of Fisk and Daredevil, and then introducing Bullseye, which I think was a wild card and well done, and just everything going crazy, and an actual sort of satisfying resolution. The fights felt a little more choreographed because they had the reputation of being the best fighting thing, so they kind of went over the top in a lot of them, but it was still really, really good. And so where would I put this season as opposed to those seasons? It's going to be tough, and I have to maybe mull it over. I don't think it's as good as Season 3 or 1. What I'm trying to do is
Third place.
it's either third place or fourth place, depending on what you feel about Season 2. And it might be fourth place for me. And I think only because we had some weird tone shifts here. There's definitely some behind the scenes. The reshoots that there was some
Terrible CGI looking
spinning wheels.
stuff
I
on
feel
the
like this
top.
season is basically the perfect, hey, this is messy as fuck. Let's get Daredevil where we want him to be, and let's
Tighten it
set
up
up an amazing
season 2.
potential, and then we move forward. So probably fourth place.
I don't think there's a single scene in this entire season that we just watched that comes close to sniffing the highs of Season 2.
No.
Not close. So I know that Season 2 ended up kind of messy, but I mean, like, if it's been too long since I've watched it, but
It has been a long time.
and just based on what I remember, it's like I don't think what this Disney version comes fucking close. So for me, it is a solid. It's in last place.
The last place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go ahead and okay. So I think when we last left off, I'm unsure. I think we did 6, maybe.
Yeah, we need to do 7, 8, 9.
So 7, 8, 9. But let's actually, before we do that and go into the individual episode breakdown, let's go ahead and give the whole series a rating after you've been able to see the last 3 episodes and you kind of rank it where everything is at. Let's go ahead and give Daredevil Disney a rating.
As a whole, I'm going to go with a 7, mainly because of the stuff we talked about. A lot of the reshoots just kind of fell off the tone. Stuff we didn't want. I don't really care about the relationship stuff.
Yeah. Some real bad CGI.
Yeah, they focus a lot of the relationship is like, can we just go back to the main plot? And I don't know if they're going to try to do that again here with Karen and Frank, because they're like, oh, I heard your heartbeat. It's like, you guys been talking, what's going on?
They've always had a special relationship in the previous one. I don't think it was romantic, and then kind of romantic. So I guess they're going to continue that here, which I find annoying, but whatever.
Yeah, this was like
It's really good mining material.
Yeah,
for
I just
drama.
want to stick to what's going on, the main issue, and cut some of that fat off.
Yeah, trim it down.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the 7. I think that there's some good stuff here, but I think that there's also some things that kind of resolved really quickly. And it was like we're setting up some of these side plots, and then all of a sudden they're just done and over with. I think there was some of the therapy sessions that really overstayed their welcome, and there's some just stuff that just I didn't think totally worked. But overall, I think it's good. I think it's better than the above average. We see a lot of garbage Marvel, so it's easy to be above average compared to Marvel shows. But I think they did a good job here.
Honestly, it's better than a lot of what Marvel puts out. However, I was kind of on a track of being a little disappointed. None of the fights are anywhere near the previous. None of the dialogue is anywhere near the previous. And then it has tonal shifts there. We get rid of Foggy and Karen and potentially completely get rid of Foggy, which I'm hoping they follow the comic storyline and maybe there'll be something there in the future. But so that kind of pissed me off. But honestly, fucking episode 9 was amazing, right? I think 9-10 area, and I just don't want that recency bias to influence me too much. But I think I was headed for like a 6, but because it ended so well and overall, and we're back on track now. They got rid of some of the original showrunners that was probably pushing it in a wrong direction. I'm optimistic, and I think by the end it corrects a lot of things and it shows potential. So I think I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10, and then I would probably put season 4, 2, 1, 3 is the new rankings. And yeah, let's go ahead. What do you guys think? You think it's on a good path now? Are you in disagreement? Do you think this recent Disney adaptation is far better than the Netflix stuff? Are you crazy? Do you need your eyes checked? Various things like that. Go and rewatch some of the older Daredevil stuff because it is really, really good. Okay, let's go into the episode breakdown now. Jumping into episode 7, which is called Arts for Art. Or no, that's not what
8.
it is.
Art for art's sake.
Yeah. So,
more like fart for fart's sake, huh?
This one was the Daredevil is racing to stop Muse before he can kill again. Fisk's rivals in the criminal underworld are trying to take advantage of the chaos. Not particularly strong. We do get a fight. Is this the one where he fights Muse in front of his girlfriend? Yeah. What did you guys think?
It was like I think that it wasn't the worst thing I've seen. It's just, we resolved this Muse thing kind of quickly. I think the scenes were too long. Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Dr. Glenn is so she's so annoying. She's so stupid. She takes on this client and clearly, unstable. And then what she does at the end of episode 9 makes me hate her even more.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, I didn't think it was great. It's not the worst. Yeah, it was all right, but it's like I already knew I didn't like some of these things and some of the side stuff. It's like it's all the doctor, it's all the resolution here. So it's like okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's quite a bit of stuff that I didn't like as well, but yeah.
I like the fight scene between Daredevil and Muse, but it lacks tension because we already know that he's going to lose. He's not as good in hand-to-hand combat as Daredevil.
Did you
The
practicing?
fight wasn't as cool,
Taekwondo for 3 months.
For 3 months. Out of here.
The fight wasn't as
but
cool.
He was training with the best Taekwondo master.
Bullshit.
He tells his backstory of how he kills a Taekwondo master.
It's not the way it works.
I don't buy it looking at this guy that he's any threat to Daredevil. We get more of the therapist stuff and the doctor stuff, which I felt was weak. I do like Fisk, man. Yeah, this actor, he's just holding up the series. He's eating dinner by himself, and he has that character down. Same thing with Charlie Cox. They mastered their characters way back in season 3, and they're kind of coming to grips with them again here in this Disney, which probably they were given a bunch of notes that they're like, are you sure you want when we're doing this, so, but we get the task force. And the task force comes in too late because it's the therapist herself that I
Shoots
think
him in the
finishes
chest.
off
Yeah.
the Muse. And ultimately kind of a disappointing adaptation of a comic book character. The comic book version of Muse is far more fascinating than essentially what we got here. But it did facilitate a fight scene. So yeah, I'm gonna. What's your final verdict?
5. It's all right.
Average.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Basically,
agree.
the fight scene holding it up.
Yeah, but at the entire time I'm watching the fight scenes, like, you can't tell me that you took 3 months of Taekwondo. I know he probably trained later, but the whole thing was, I took 3 months Taekwondo with this dude. It's like, yeah, but you killed him after 3 months.
Yeah, and
You
again,
need at least like
another reason
couple
why
years.
I got yellow belt, bro.
the Disney series is at 7 out of 10 or maybe even 6 sometimes is, the supporting cast are just not interesting to watch. Daniel and this other lady that's working for Fisk, when she realizes in episode 9 we the baddies the whole time, I've seen people say online, it's not compelling. And then the BB stuff, which we were never into in the first place. But okay, so, and then we go into episode 8 here, which originally I thought was the last episode because I didn't realize there was a 9. So when it ended, I'm like, wait, what? This is a stupid ending. I'm about to give this series a 5 or a 6. But no, it's not the end. Instead, it's Isle of Joy is what this one's called. And then this is the inaugural sort of ball, the black and white tie thing, and Mayor Fisk is basically tightening his grip in New York, and Matt Murdock learns about
What's going on?
the whole
Plot.
why his friend died and who assassinated him, and he was initially thinking that it's Fisk, obviously, but it's Vanessa. But I thought that was fucking obvious too if you were paying attention, but I guess he wasn't really paying a lot of attention to what Vanessa's activities are. You put some minimal activity in there. She's always visiting people under piers. She's doing weird shit. Just look at what Vanessa's doing. But
There's
anyway,
so much hatred for
and-
Fisk. He's just looking at this side.
yeah, and so Bullseye shows up to fucking shoot Mayor Fisk, and we have this big shocking moment where Daredevil blocks the bullet with his own body and saves his life. And so it's a really interesting ending because it's like, how is Fisk going to react? I love these guys when they had their diner scene a few episodes back, the tension. And I expected more payoff for it in episode 9, and it's really just combed over and really done nothing with. But I can't fault episode 8 for it. I think episode 8 has this shocking ending, and it's cool. I still don't understand why, Bullseye. Well, I do understand why Bullseye's trying to kill the Fist, but I think he would have been more effective at shooting Vanessa, not, he's just going to shoot them both eventually. But yeah, so that's
save him?
This particular episode, Isle of Joy. What did you?
Why
you guys
save
have
him
said?
though? This is like,
Why save? I guess Matt Murdock was instinctual. Anytime something happens, he's just gonna, say, I don't know. Why
It's a
he was
trope. It's like in every comic. I'll allow it because it's in every single comic character does something done. Because, like, honestly, he could have just pushed him so it shoots him in the arm instead of jumping in front of him, potentially dying too. But we're not allowed to think about those things because it's a comic.
We get scenes here of Matt visiting Bullseye in prison. It's an intense scene, not quite at the level that he does in other actors, so it doesn't hit as hard. Bullseye eventually escapes from prison, murders a bunch of people. Then you get the dance floor scene where he's shot, and a lot of the sort of plot is revealed. Fisk sends Bullseye into the general population. This guy's gonna die. He's just basically left once again out to dry. So Bullseye is going to be such an intense wild card, and they try to pay off some of it here. He's like, God damn it, these people keep fucking me over. I'm gonna take them out. But it's just, man, it's hard to believe that if Bullseye really wanted to fucking kill Fist, that he'd doesn't get the job done.
Yeah.
Only because Daredevil is there and he jumps in the way does he save him.
I mean, couldn't he just throw a pool ball like off 9 walls and not hit Fisk in the back, and Daredevil
The
couldn't have caught it, or
ricochet.
spit a tooth, or do something else that I'm
Yes.
not allowed to criticize because people
Yes.
got mad. People were fucking mad at me. It was
For which- for
when
that
I
part?
was like the pool ball thing was like it was
Oh.
like I loved it when they were like actually fighting and throwing knives, but when he's I don't know, some of it looks stupid.
It was. Come on.
Yeah.
What do you think? You go first on this one.
I like this one better than 8. I
Yeah.
think is better than 7. I think. I mean, there was some cool scenes, so maybe like a 7 out of 10. I don't think it was bad, but it didn't quite reach some of the amazing highs. But it was good stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking between that and but I like the 9 better. 7. Go with 7.
All right. Let's see here. Did I get some of these ordered wrong?
What do you mean?
7 actually.
Art for
What's
art.
the? No, that was the episode before. Okay, no, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to make sure that I've got this all in the correct order. We get a little bit of the swordsman talking with Fisk as well as
Threatening
Fisk
some-
is strong arming people in the room and stuff like that. It's an interesting scene. Not enough to kind of elevate it, but it's fun. Now we go to basically. Oh, so what did you give?
7s.
7. Yeah, I could see I could see a 7. It is a shocking kind of reveal, and you think, oh man, this is cool, and the plans. It's a nice penultimate thing to eventual payoff. So I'm gonna go 7 as well. And finally, Straight to Hell, the excellent episode a year earlier. So now we basically get the scene. And I keep asking, what the fuck is Dex working for Vanessa? And I don't know if I buy it, but she basically goes to him when he's at his most vulnerable and asks for him. And his vendetta is really just to kill, the Kingpin and not necessarily her. But that's not true because he tried to kill her previously. And he's got a vendetta. So I don't know. She wants him
Still murky
to...
on that.
He's obviously on a ton of meds, and so you're
Yeah.
like, maybe you have to buy the fact that he's like so unwell that he can be
But then
manipulated.
I feel like it's
once
a
he's
plot
out, he should
hole.
be. No.
And
I know.
It's a plot hole that's not fully filled in. And I don't even know if they even fucking tried to fill it in. And they just kind of comb over it. It's like, yeah, but whatever.
You got to do the bad guy thing and be like, oh, I've got your niece, or all of your, and they've strapped him to a bomb, and you got to do these things. Like, you got to give me that.
So, Bullseye escapes, as he always does, and Murdoch is hospitalized. At this point, Fisk is like, the city needs a
Fuck
push.
this, yeah.
I'm taking over. It was my plan all along to be Kingpin mayor rather than good guy mayor or whatever.
What?
So he himself cuts the power off to the city. Chaos ensues. He orders fucking this assassin guy, Cashman or something, to murder Murdoch. I'm like, this guy ain't gonna do shit. Daredevil knows. And
But he was supposed to be.
Drugged
Drugged
up
up
and
and
potentially sleeping.
True.
The
And then
lights were going to go out.
yeah,
although
the power could go
But-
out. But you got to send more people. If Fisk knows that Murdoch is
Okay, he
is
knows that. It's
Daredevil.
like, look, when I turn off the power, it's like, why? He still can't see, but he can. What's the?
I thought to his medical equipment in case he's hooked up and
I mean,
he
hospitals
don't- I
have
don't know.
backup generators. You can't just turn
Yeah.
the
True.
power off to a hospital.
think about it,
Well,
Alex.
because that place was supposed to be lit back up immediately.
Don't think about that.
The power is
How dare
more
you.
for the city to create chaos,
Yeah, it's a
and
false
then for
flag
him
attack.
to jump in and save everybody. But one thing I didn't expect, but I should have, is Castle's involvement because he was teased in the season. They meet. And I just thought, oh, man, that's kind of a fun scene, but kind of a lame cameo. I'm glad that it pays off here.
Yep.
Because Castle is back. He received a phone call.
This
He
is
won't-
definitely reshoots.
He won't say who he got the phone call from, but we all know it's Karen because of their special relationship, and she called him. It's revealed there later on. But I love it. This whole fucking, I'm not playing patty cake with these fanboys. I'm chopping them up. And Daredevil's like, don't do that.
Well, Daredevil's like, don't kill them while he's
But
hitting a dude in the face with a steel pipe.
But
and I was like, whoa.
and
His jaw just goes sideways.
Yeah.
Stop shooting them.
You're being mean.
So Daredevil escapes, and they send a hit squad to his area, and there's Frank and Daredevil fighting side by side. And it's awesome. Punisher there's plenty of blood. Disney Plus has made some exceptions. They go ahead and do what you want to do because there's plenty of blood. Even as one guy, down on a table, and then you just see the shots come through the table, and Daredevil's like, stop it!
Yeah, he makes a guy bite the counter, and he's like slamming his head into it. And it's like, whoa.
And they film it in a realistic manner where Frank is not, impervious and nobody ever shoots at him because he does get hit here. And so I appreciate that realism. Now, I'm curious if later on I'll ask a question. Is it realism or was it his plan the whole time? But here, I think it's realism. He gets shot in the shoulder, and then he continues to fight. We get the classic Frank noises as he's murdering people. It's
like his engine's revving.
It's like over the top, but I like it. And,
is this grown man growling at me?
And I wish Daredevil did fight with all those people with his ass hanging out because he's in his gown. He's like, what are you, nightgown man? And it's like, get your shit on. And he gives him one moment, but he's like, wait, you're not going to do it with your ass hanging out? And I was like, man, he did it with his ass hanging out. But it was a good fight. Yeah. And I appreciate it.
Too bad Daredevil kept them alive, and they're still dead now.
And so then we have Karen showing up, and the grenade comes through, and
everyone's fucking dead
to argue, and even the guy. So at one point, Matt Murdock, this Catholic man who is like really mad at this one police officer who has Daredevil bullets or Punisher bullets, and he figures out that's the guy that killed the White Tiger.
I thought there's going to be a little bit more on that one.
He wants to take his revenge, and Punisher's like, do it. Do it. I was like, please do it. Do it. They don't do it. But ultimately, because a grenade was thrown in there, that guy is motherfucking dead.
He couldn't run. He was like knocked out.
Nailed him to a wall.
Yeah.
And
he's like stuck. And then
so he's taken care of. Meanwhile, they, as they're walking in the streets, a car shows up. You're like, oh, great, here comes another fight. But no, it's Karen. Karen shows up. And she's the one that sent Frank to help him. So she's patching up Matt. And, Punisher's patching himself up, chewing on fucking his pills like an addict.
And drinking coffee.
And he wants coffee to heal.
Coffee cures all things.
To heal bullet holes. And it's funny and good. And and so I like this. And then meanwhile, Danny, which is, the little... the younger guy that's in awe of Fisk, puts pressure on the city council through strong-arm tactics. They want to put this new initiative in place called Safer Streets, which apparently is even worse than stop and frisk and stand your ground and stuff like that. Basically giving them free reign to do whatever.
Yeah, they said, no, this is not a good idea, and they're corrupt. They're like, well, what about this $500,000
bullshit?
Yeah, your offshore accounts.
They're like,
we got dirt on everyone. It's like, okay, we'll sign this.
And even if we don't have dirt, let us know, and we'll make the arrangements for you. And it's like, damn, now you have a criminal organization who's not only in the undershadows and can't really do anything, but is actually in charge in politics and, commanding the particular, city. And yeah, sucks. The lights get turned off, and now suddenly cops are murdering civilians. Now apparently it was a little excessive, a little over the top. One guy's stealing a TV, and then one guy's like, "No," and he just shoots him. I was like, "That's just murder." I don't even know.
He didn't want to do the paperwork.
Bad guy cops want to do that, but then he just puts his hoodie over him and says, "Oh, look."
Yeah, the beanie further down. He's a mass vigilante.
He was armed, Joe. He had a crowbar.
Yeah, he had 2 arms. He's armed. Anyways, we go back and we get a little moaning from Matt, who says, "I heard your heartbeat when you was talking to the Punisher."
Is it jealousy?
And it's jealousy. And she's like, "Yeah, but did you hear my heartbeat when I was taking care of you?" And he's, she goes, "It was just adrenaline, I'm sure." And then he says, "Yeah, it was adrenaline, I'm sure." Confirm it's almost the same kind of heart flutter. So they're amping that up. There's one aspect I didn't really like from the Netflix one. but they're carrying it over. I understand why they do it, but I never really bought that Karen is into the Punisher, who just like murder people.
He's
It
with
kinda
somebody right
seems-
now, so
It kind of seems out of
It's
character for her, but I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting all the particulars from the previous Netflix series that kind of explained their relationship a bit more. It's I don't like love triangles, but I don't think it's a love triangle. I almost think it's just, two friends that, almost like a brother-sister kind of thing.
But that was a weird thing, though,
I
to
don't
say.
know.
It's like, well,
to have
how did
the
you
heart
feel?
flutter
Yeah.
at the
The
same
Lannister
time.
brother and
So
sister,
that's what
maybe,
I'm saying.
yeah.
I think Disney is like, okay, I'm going to take that thread line and now we're
you
going to
don't
expand
need
on
it.
it.
I mean, the one thing that gave me hope is in this episode, Matt's partner that works with him is like, hey, when this is all done, we need to talk. And I don't think that the actress is terrible. I don't think she was given any good material this season. And if she leaves, that gives the opening for season 2 for Karen to come back and actually have a role.
So I hope she leaves.
That she has a role within the practice, and it's not just a love triangle. It's not just a will they won't
Hopefully.
they thing for
Hopefully.
8
They're
episodes.
probably going to mine it for at least a season. I'm not looking forward to it. Remind us in season 2 or 3 what that was all about. Season 2, Punisher, the Punisher series. If that was kind of left ambiguous or wrapped up. But anyways, they have a good moment. Karen holds his hand. He's going through all of his stuff. He sees the avocados at law, which was a joke between him and Foggy. It just still sucks that Foggy is currently dead and potentially will be no longer a part of the series.
There's the Lazarus pit somewhere in New York, right? we know they can come back.
No, that's DC.
Well, what do they call it in Daredevil? There was something where they bring
Daredevil has one. Shit, I fucking forgot.
They bring you back, but evil.
Oh, the hand. Yeah. But I don't know.
What is
There's
it? The
also a
rule
comic
is
storyline
everyone-
where Foggy's
no
not
one
really
stays
dead.
dead unless you're
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Anyways, he
You're
says,
really
I'm
dead.
glad you're back, and the entire audience is also saying, I'm glad you're back. Karen is more compelling than his two partners and the therapist lady and the officer chick, the agent officer chick that's helping him
They
out.
had no
Who
introduction,
else?
and
Who
she
else
keeps
is
showing
there?
up, and it's like, who is this?
I was like, oh, I forgot about you.
In like 5 seconds of screen time.
It feels like we're supposed to know who you are and like your whole
And you're like-
thing, but you just
she's
keep
all like,
showing up and.
It's like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Who let her in here?
I want to be that extra. Just show up.
Yeah.
Well, she's exactly
Wait a
like
minute,
the,
who is that? That looks like OtherJoe.
it's like the 7 bandits from
Angry
Snow
Joe
White.
show.
It's like,
What
who
is
are
that
you
doing
people?
here? Anyways, so it turns out Foggy stumbled into the Fisk takeover of the whole city, the
The
city-state kind of bullshit, and yeah. So the next scene confused me, and this is what I have a question on. It was another excellent Frank Castle Punisher scene where he just goes again. He just walks right in to the goddamn Vigilante Force HQ. I'm like, what are you doing? So this is why I think that,
I
he
didn't
did
like
this
it,
on
but
purpose
yes.
so that he would get
Oh, from
captured
the
so that he can
inside,
come and
yeah.
get from the inside. But
don't like
if
it.
there's a bunch of shotguns going off, your
Yeah.
plan is very flawed.
These people love him so much. It's like, everyone. Like, he's killing everyone. He just threw a guy, fucking axe this guy's face.
Yeah.
Let's use non-lethals. Everyone, non-lethals. No, fuck that.
Nah, I'm gonna be the one that starts using
Yeah.
lethal.
Yeah, I mean, he just fought a bunch of dudes that were on their team that tried to kill him and then blow him up with grenades. Like, and I don't buy that
No, I
he
don't
thought
buy
that. I don't like the setup.
I like the execution. Don't like the
him walking
implications.
into like a known ambush is silly to me. Like I want Frank Castle to walk into like planned and just something happens to go wrong and then he fights
exactly.
his way out.
That would
Sure.
have been way better.
But I don't like the-
or film it more to where it's like this is his plan, and you're seeing little bits and pieces, and for the audience to know that he's doing this,
Yeah.
and have a little bit. I'm surprised nobody shoots him in the face because they're constantly shooting him in the chest area where he's got his body armor.
They put a gun to the back of the head, and then it's like they would know to give you 5 feet of distance between you and them, and it's just like it's all film silly. I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
but simultaneously, it's another great scene where we hear Frank, oh, just doing his Frank shit, and come here,
slow-mo.
let me talk to you. Come here, let me talk to you. But anyways, then we get the Sheila thing. I don't know if her character name is Sheila. I don't know if I can name what the
The assistant?
The assistant.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's her fucking name? Again, none of these side characters really. Sheila Rivera. Yeah, it is Sheila. So she realizes that she's on the bad side, but yet she rats out the good police chief.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I fucking hate this bitch, and I hope she dies in the next season. And she goes from wanting to do the right thing to crying about doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, she had to do the wrong thing because she's pretty sure that she was gonna die otherwise.
Yeah. And then, or she can just leave and get help from Punisher or fucking
go to the governor like he said he was going to, and
do other stuff. I hate her. Anyways, Punisher is strapped to the chair, and they're all wearing their Punisher outfits. And I wish Punisher would have made fun of them. Like address how they're like little fucking boy toy versions of him and fanboys.
Clowns.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I want a little more.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole symbol stuff.
Well, and especially how it's like you are completely and totally perverting. You are the thing that I would kill. Like you are not on my side.
And he never really presses
You
it
don't know
the
my
way that I
pain.
want him to press it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about him. It's like, come on,
you are the corruption. I'm not going to fight.
Then that's when we get the scene of fucking Fist crushing that dude's head. That was cool.
I was like,
But
goddamn.
that's probably the most brutal this series has ever been on Disney Plus. Any Marvel show has ever been on Disney Plus. Because you see his head get collapsed with
his
blood.
fucking jaw
It's a
is
little
like-
too bright, but it's still good.
Yeah,
It's good effect.
I think that's what Alex
but
was saying, like the
little
Disney
too bright.
blood.
Disney
It's
blood.
like a little
Disney blood.
neon.
It's very neon.
Yeah.
And
It's bright.
his-
It's happy.
His jaw collapses.
There was a
and stuff,
hummingbird in
but
the
it was
room.
good. A little hummingbird came out of
Yeah.
Nice. But we need to take the city back, says Daredevil. And Karen's like, all right.
I need an army.
There's a little bit of push, but then she's like, okay, I'm with you. And then he's like, we need an army. And where do we start, she says. And then later on, we get a scene of Daredevil showing up in costume. And he has an army. It's a really bad army. We've got the sergeant chick lady who shows up, detective for 5 seconds. As OtherJoe, like, wait, who is that guy?
Who are you?
We get his investigator
They
friend.
said they had free pints here. Come here.
We get a few good cops. They could help and do something, but they're at risk
Then
of getting
Hector's
killed.
niece is going to probably show up later.
Yeah, they did say they pointed at her specifically and said the strong, so she's probably going to put on the amulet and they'll pass the torch.
You
and-
see her, right?
Yeah, she's looking at
please
evil
don't do
cops.
that.
Oh, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, they can't help themselves.
Yeah, well, I think it happens in the comics anyway, so go ahead and do it.
But like you said, the next series is Ironheart.
Yeah.
Dr. Glenn goes right back to Fisk like a fucking idiot. Like, I can't. The person who you've had sex with multiple times, who you care about, you're a therapist, you've had moments. He even told her that he loved her, which I cringed when he said that in the series. And you're just gonna fucking straight up ignore him saying, look, I'm sorry you don't believe me, but this guy is dangerous. This is like one of the most kind-hearted people you've ever met, and you're not gonna fucking listen to
Being
him.
the one that is an established criminal and has been a criminal in New York City for 20 plus years, and it's not a secret that he's done all sorts of bad things forever and ever.
Forget
It's
that.
like
That's
it's
giving
like
him the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, it's like this isn't a random dude where it's like he said, she said situation. It's like no, he is actually the kingpin. Like everyone
dangerous.
knows he is bad.
Right,
He
this
is
has already
fucking
been
bad,
revealed.
and his wife is just as bad.
So fuck
you're
this
gonna
lady.
die.
I hate her, and the only way
She's
that
gonna
this
die.
makes acceptable, it makes it acceptable if she knows and she's just doing it to get in there to blow up the system from the inside. But even then, I still want her gone. I still want her dead by the end of this series. That sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
I was surprised because I thought for sure that she was going to die in episode 7 and send Matt spiraling, and that I thought would have been significantly more interesting
That's
in keeping
way
her
more
alive.
interesting.
I was also shocked when he gave Karen gave him the speech at the end. Like I took a point like. I was thinking this episode was going to place exactly where I wanted to. Punisher's captured, Matt goes in, and then they have to get their way out of it, and we have like the hallway scene because I never really got the one that for like this whole season that I really wanted, and instead he's just like, no, I'm gonna go assemble an army of characters that no one knows the name of.
Nobody gives a shit about.
It's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, so then we get
I think it ends after that.
No, ends and we
we
get
do see
another
Fisk
mid-credit.
and Vanessa are at the very top. Fisk and Vanessa have won. and they are smiling, and this is, all the rich dissenters from the socialites that didn't agree with them to do their shit are captured. The swordsman is captured. He's also a socialite in his alter ego, and they even have the Punisher prisoner. So it's like, God damn. And then
I wonder if
he
he told
says,
her. Oh God.
we could take this city back together. You get the BB scenes of the various contributors. They're shown, and you get the voiceover. And so you see the lawyer lady where she's like, I don't know, conflicted about her future. You see Bullseye, so he's definitely factoring in. He's still out there wanting to kill the Fisks, and even more so now. But that is literally a repeat from the Netflix series, and I'm going to get to that in a second, because I feel like we are laying a good foundation for Daredevil's future. But will it just be repeating Netflix storylines? Will it do them better? Will it do them worse? If you're going to repeat them, you're going to do them worse. But I just don't have confidence you can do them better. But that all comes with doing the Fisk again and doing Kingpin again. But we have them at the very, very top, and now Daredevil needs to claw his way back up. But they couldn't leave the Punisher imprisoned. I was kind of hoping they would, because that's a good starting point. But I guess they didn't want to poo-poo on his character, and he basically, does the whole, hey, come here. Let me tell you something.
Get a little closer.
Come here.
Yeah. Closer. Shake my hand.
I'll allow it only because they're a big fan of him or whatever.
Yeah.
But there should have been more fan stuff, and then he grabs
killed
his arm.
so many.
You got to fake a seizure or something. Do something that's like, But
So now I'm hoping that, did Frank actually get himself caught? Or do you think that they were just depicting a more realistic Punisher, where it's like he's going to come in and deal with all of his fanboys and kill them all, and he overestimated, and he didn't he's all
part of his
handle them
plan.
all? You think it was part of his plan?
Part of his plan.
I think the way Disney handles things is they're trying to put a little more realism, and it could go either way. I want it to be a part of his plan, but that first time where he got shot, that wasn't part of his plan.
Stupid plan, because I would not think that they would be like, all right, well, I'm going to go in and get captured. My plan is they're going to use non-lethals.
I don't think it's as part of his plan, because he's unstable. Punisher is unstable.
Oh, I know.
And part of him wants to just die.
Yeah.
So, he can be reckless. And then through his recklessness, he finds ways to take advantage of the situation.
No, hopefully
so I think
they don't do
it was
that too
kind of
much, because I hate, this just happens just because.
Yeah. I know it's difficult for Punisher fans to be like, there's no fucking way a bunch of jabronis took him over and captured him and overwhelmed him. He wouldn't put himself in that situation. He's Batman. He always has an escape plan. It's like he's the smartest Batman. No,
this guy's mentally
he's a little bit crazy. I
bit.
think I would think significantly less of this version of the character if this was his plan.
If it was his plan to get, because it's a nonsensical plan.
Yeah.
So hopefully he just kind of fucked up.
And he's unstable.
And then he's unstable, and he's going to break his way out. And he improvises.
And he's going to get the swordsman, and they're going to have
that
a wacky.
Would be fucking cool.
They're going to have a wacky. They're going to team up, and it's going to be an odd couple situation, and it's going to be.
That would be so good.
The buddy cop back to back.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do
He's
it.
always
That would be
serious.
amazing.
They got to do so. As soon as he said, "I'm going to assemble the army," I had this horrible feeling. He's he's going to go to a bar, and he's going to pick up Echo in a bar because she hates the Kingpin, and she's got her Native American powers, and then the swordsman's going to show up.
That actually has to happen, because she has no place in Avengers, Doomsday, and all these other movies. So I think Disney's like, fuck. We did this series. We don't know what to do with her now. Let's put her in.
He referenced. We got talks of
she
Kamala.
Is tied to him.
Kamala's dad is in this series. I thought for sure we're gonna get all sorts of goofy help. The worst army ever.
Kingpin is too old to be punching and taking on all these people in a fucking fist fight.
If that happens, I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
What if just Echo shows up?
No, I'm good.
I don't want Echo. She's showing up. They're not just going to completely forget about her character, Joe, so just expect it.
I did. Why can't they?
All right.
Well, sometimes Marvel does that,
Just drop him completely? No, not happening.
Well, I mean, the whole phase went to shit over Jonathan Majors. We're not going to ever hear from Kang again, so.
I wonder how they are going to mention his presence, or they'll put a CGI version of his face and then get him killed or something.
Yeah, they'll just find 7 ants to take him down, and he was never a threat in the first place.
That'll be interesting. Okay, well, that's about it. We probably won't see season 2 until maybe 20. If they did film them like we thought, that maybe they filmed them all at once and then broke it into 2 seasons.
You said they started March this
2025. Okay, so earliest late 2026. But I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. And as I said before, to wrap up this particular phase, it was good. One more Ironheart. Don't have any faith in that one. Pretty sure that one's going to be a failure, but we'll see if people are out there really clamoring for the Ironheart character.
Could be good.
Could be good. And then Phase 6, as a reminder for TV, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, Wonder Man, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Vision Quest, completing the trilogy of the WandaVision, and then more of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man stuff, which I think it's almost in its own universe, so that's kind of different. But that's what we have ahead, and thank you very much for watching. Tell us what you thought of Season 4. Where does it rank in overall Netflix, basically the entire Daredevil series? I think for us, it's good, but it's not quite at that particular level. However, that level's gone. It's never returning. Marvel didn't have as much control over stuff, and they had some really good writers and directors and fight choreographers back then. Yeah. So that time is over. However, for Disney level stuff, I think this is great, and it shows promise. And if they extend what happened here as all that blood and that gore in this last episode, which overall, I don't know if I even ranked the last episode. It was like 9, 10.
I was giving it an 8.
8. I'm gonna go. I could see either 9 or 10. 9 if I hadn't already. But yeah. So hopefully it sticks to this moving forward. And this is sort of like if Disney Plus was Netflix, this is their kind of hit, and they just need to build on it. We'll see if they do so, if it'll go up in quality or down in quality sometime soon. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.